Up until this point, Anderson has been discussing public schools, but keeping in mind those public schools are for grades 1 through 7. So I think that's important to note, because at this point, there aren't secondary schools. There is the industrial education, but that is all. And again, up until this point, most of those are private. So this chapter 6 discusses public secondary education for Black children. Schools extended into high school curriculum for white children or for white youth. This was not the case for Black youth at this time. So Anderson shares with us that by 1930, 47% of high school aged children or youth were enrolled in public secondary education. And as I wrote that, keeping in mind 1930 was only 95 years ago, which was wild to even think about. So just 95 years ago, only 47% of high school age kids, youth, were in high school at that time. And by 1934, this had increased to 60%. And again, I think this is indicative of how we see these historical trends, or in this case, this crusade for secondary education for Black children. So at this time, there were state-sponsored and state-funded building campaigns that were underway, but as you can imagine, and Anderson reminds us, these were only for white schools. So again, the Black community was excluded from this early expansion of public secondary education.